Boruto Tubula Vortex Chapter 21 shows Boruto swooping in to save Konohamaru, and Kashin Koji is not happy about this. He basically states that he's going to ruin everything that they've worked on, everything that they've progressed so far. But in Boruto's defense, he did see Kashin Koji sacrifice Yodo so that Sarada would gain her Mangekyo Sharingan ability, and he basically asks him, what about Konohamaru? Are you going to sacrifice him too? To which Kashin Koji doesn't give him a straightforward answer. Now, there are two possibilities with what Kashin Koji was probably foreseeing, which was Konohamaru loses, okay? He gets defeated by Matsuri and he dies, unfortunately, but in his passing, it creates like a legacy, you know what I mean? It's like people are inspired by his death and they want to avenge him. They work harder and they eventually get stronger and they face the Shinju on a bigger scale, you know what I mean? Like everybody in the village, Sarda, Mitsuki, you know what I mean? Team 10, everybody just goes full force to try to avenge him, right? That's one possibility. The second one is that, like Sarda, where she awakened an ability, maybe Konohamaru has some sort of inner potential that he hasn't fully unleashed. And Boruto swooping in now just ruined all of that. So now that Boruto has stepped in and defeated Matsuri, and now that Juro is going to step in, what I wonder is, what is Kashin Koji's next step going to be? It's all about seeing the next step. You know, his 10 paths, his prescience allows him to see alternate realities and futures. Now that Boruto has essentially stepped in and ruined everything, now Kashin Koji has to get everybody back on track or figure out the next way to move forward, you know, and just with what Boruto has done, you know, it's more so how do we move forward and deal with the situation than try to go back to what circumstances were before. So I feel like Kashin Koji has maybe two options. The first option is he gets in contact with Shikamaru and he basically explains the whole situation. He talks to Ada as well and tries to see what's going on with everybody else and possibly try to contact Mitsuki or anybody else in the general area and try to guide them to do his work, okay? Because now that Boruto's not there, he's got to figure out, okay, how do I scramble? How do I get everybody in position? How do I help out? And the second one is a little bit drastic, but I think it might be necessary. And that's Kashin Koji literally stepping into the battle. Now, this would give away his identity. This would give away a lot of things. But I don't see how he moves forward in total secrecy. Giving them, throw a dog a bone. You know what I'm saying? He has to show them who he is or what his identity is. And that way, they'll kind of, be interested and more interested. I'm not saying he fights, but I am saying that, he's going to have to show up on the battlefield or some sort of way. He's going to have to show up and reveal himself. Maybe that'll be enough time to give Boruto enough time to escape and then everybody else time to leave. It feels like that's the right conclusion to all of this. It feels like Kashin Koji's reveal of himself is kind of it's scary and it's not what he wants to do and probably what he shouldn't do, what he probably won't do. But now that Boruto's basically forced his hand, he's kind of the next step is for me to reveal myself and, I don't know, to kind of face them or to show who I am and that I know certain things and blah, 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 blah. So, and then they retreat, then they run away. And that's the end of it. The Shinobi get away, the Shinju get away, and they kind of end on unsafe terms, you know what I mean? Where it's now the Shinju know who they're facing up against, who they're going to fight against, and they want to stop him, they want to kill him, and, you know, it's going to spiral downwards. But I feel like that might be Kashin Koji's next step. I mean, he could obviously do anything he wants. It doesn't have to be this way or that way or the other. I just feel like in the direction that we're going, it's looking like Kashin Koji's going to eventually reveal himself or just show up on the battlefield and help out, physically help out, you know what I mean? He's more of a behind-the-scenes guy, directing Shikamaru, Ada, Boruto, letting them do the real work, and he kind of is behind the scenes and this is how we do things this way, or we have to go in this direction, and we have to set up this, you know what I mean? So he was the one who orchestrated the mission to go after the Shinju and to stop Ryu and all that. So I feel like that's where we're headed. So I have no idea, but let me know what you guys think Kashin Koji's next move is going to be. It's pretty interesting to think about what Chapter 22 is going to bring us next, especially with Jura coming back in and Boruto on the battlefield and Sarda passed out and Mitsuki having to get the Soul Thorn Bulb. Everything's clashing right now, and so it's going to be really cool to see next chapter. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Yeah.